Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be getting into the beauty report for March. If you're new here to my channel, this is basically like my monthly wrap-up series where I share my thoughts on products that I've been testing. I did separate this out from my makeup playtime series because there was just too much stuff when I tried to do it all in one video. So I will be doing a separate makeup playtime update if you want to know my thoughts on those products. That will probably be coming your way sometime next week. But for today, we're going to be chatting about some makeup I didn't use in that video, as well as some skincare and some hair stuff and some other really cool random goodies that I've been testing out in the last month. Now, if this video ends up being like any of the other ones I've ever filmed, it's probably going to be pretty long, so make sure you go grab your snack now, get cozy, and with all that being said, let's get into it. So why don't we kick things off by chatting about the makeup products that I have today. The first of which I believe is the one I've had the longest, and that is the new Tarte Face Tape Foundation. Now, I did do a full dedicated review on this product back at the beginning of the month. I will link it for you guys up here in the cards if you haven't seen it yet, but I demoed it on camera, I did a full day wear test, and even at the time of filming that video, I had already worn this foundation probably like 4 or 5 times, so I definitely shared more of my comprehensive thoughts on this product there, so I don't want to go too crazy on this today, but I will say, having worn this now for over a month, I do really like this foundation. I know there were quite a few people that it's not working for. The reviews seem very polarized online, but for me personally, I really haven't had any issues with this. With this being so full coverage, I think it is very easy to over apply it. I usually only need one pump for my entire face. This is the foundation I'm wearing today, and that's all I used to get this coverage. I find that a little goes a very long way. It spreads out really nicely, and the coverage doesn't sheer out a ton when you spread it across your face. So I think if you use 2 pumps of this, it's probably going to be too much unless you have a larger face. I'm a pretty tiny person, so I feel like 1 pump of this is perfect for me, gives me all the coverage that I need, and it stays pretty matte. It doesn't break apart and start to look cakey on me. I'm always going to get shiny because I have very oily skin. That's just how it goes for me. It's really just a matter of how long my skin stays looking matte, and I feel like with this, I definitely get a solid 4 or 5 hours before any shine appears. But what I've noticed is especially nice about this product, if I go in with just an oil blotting sheet on top of this, it will look brand new. If I just go in and soak up a little of that excess oil, it looks perfect. It doesn't pull the foundation away. It doesn't look weird and separated or anything like that. So even though I do get shiny, I appreciate that the oil doesn't break the foundation down so badly that if I go in to touch it up, it looks like a patchy, cakey kind of gross mess. So this next product, or I guess it's technically a set of products, it's killing me a little bit right now because I love it. I love them so very much, but I don't know if I should use them anymore. So back in February, I ordered this trio of the Pat McGrath Lust lip glosses. It's a really good deal. It's $25 and you get 3 shades, and basically the total amount of product you get across all 3 of them is more than a full-size Lust lip gloss, and it only costs $1 more, I think. So you're really getting some good bang for your buck here. I got the warm neutral set, I think it was called. So it has the shades Flesh 4, Flesh Fantasy, and Bronze Temptation. And this lip gloss formula is so freaking beautiful. I can't. It's probably one of the best lip glosses I've tried in a very long time. It's very creamy, but it's not sticky and gloopy. They smell like chocolate buttercream frosting. It's so delicious. They have pigment, but it's not like a lip lacquer. So this is the shade Bronze Temptation, and it definitely shows up with pigment, but as you apply it, some of your natural lip color is going to show through, so you can easily layer this over a lip liner, over a lipstick, wear it on its own. It's pretty versatile in that respect. So this came in the mail on a Friday. Naturally, what's the first thing you're going to do when you get brand new Pat McGrath lip glosses? Put it on your face. So I was wearing these constantly, I think that whole weekend and into Monday, and then my husband started to have a sore throat that Monday, and I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. We went to the Minute Clinic, and found out he had strep throat. I also got tested and I came back like very faintly positive. I was just starting to develop it, so they put me on antibiotics, put him on antibiotics, we got better, I got sick again. I told you guys this whole story in my most recent Getting Ready With Me. You can watch it here if you haven't seen it yet. But basically, like, I know I used these a ton when I technically had been infected with strep throat and didn't know it yet. And unlike a virus where like once you've had it, your body has the antibodies and you're not gonna reinfect yourself with it, strep is highly contagious. It's a bacteria. You can really easily reinfect yourself with it. So I am super nervous that these are full of strep, and I really don't want to get myself sick again because I'm still not 100% after the crazy virus I just had. Now, fortunately for me, I didn't actually try out this shade yet, which is Flesh 4. It's the darkest of the 3 in the trio. So this one is still safe. This one I can still use, so I'm definitely gonna keep that guy. But like, these are my favorite shades. These are the ones that I was like wearing the most, or the ones that I wanted to wear the most. And it just like bugs me so much because they are so new and they're so good, and I really don't want to like spend $25 again to get the whole set. Like, I could go out and just buy one of these shades and just get the full-size gloss, but it just like, it kills me to think about throwing away essentially brand new makeup. I 100% don't want to take any chances anytime in the near future, because if this is infected and I do get strep again, like, I can't deal with that right now. Maybe in like 2 months I'll brave it and see what happens. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just throw them away. Like, I don't know what to do. It's just, I'm having like a little bit of a dilemma there. But regardless, if you were curious about these lip glosses and you were thinking about picking them up, they are beautiful. I would highly recommend getting the trio, even over getting a single shade, because again, you're paying the same amount and it's so rare you go through an entire lip gloss. So if you want to try a couple different shades, I think that is the way to do it. They also have a cool toned version that has more kind of like prismatic iridescent shades. So if you're kind of into the lip topper thing, they also have that as an option. So beautiful gloss formula. I'm just really upset that I might not be able to use mine anymore. On a more positive note, I have 2 other makeup products that I can still continue to use because they're not infected with germs that I have been really loving. Both of these products were from my March Boxy Luxe box, and I did demo them on camera for you guys in my story time Getting Ready With Me if you want to see them in action, but I am wearing both of them again today as well. The first is this new CoverFX Perfector face palette. I actually also did a dedicated review on this on my blog, so I will link that for you guys in the description box of this video if you want to see like swatches of the entire palette. But I've been really enjoying this guy. I think it's a really beautiful springtime palette. It's perfect for everyday looks. You have a contour shade in here, a really pretty kind of pink coral blush. You get 2 highlight shades and then this brightener, which is really just essentially another highlight shade. And then this finishing powder, which is honestly pretty terrible. This matte blush and this matte contour go on beautifully. They're not patchy, they're buildable, they're really easy to work with, and they don't fade particularly quickly on my skin, so I like them a lot. The 2 highlights here on the edges are more natural-ish looking. They kind of give more shimmer to the skin than pigmentation, but you can build them up. So if you want a more subtle glow, you can just kind of go into one of these lightly, or you can like build it and build the intensity, or you can add this brightener shade, which is quite a bit more intense. This one is a little icy. Like, I don't love it on its own on my skin tone because it's just like a little bit light, but it's nice when mixed in with the other highlights. So what I did today was just mix these 2 highlight shades together and then pop a little bit of this brightener shade kind of like right on the highest point of my cheekbone just to make it pop a little bit more. And I mean, overall, I feel like it gives a really nice effect. This finishing powder shade, though, I do not understand for the life of me. At first, when I was looking at it, like, it looks kind of subtly shimmery, and you're like, all right, maybe they're going for like an ambient lighting powder type vibe where it's gonna kind of diffuse the look of pores and give you that soft focus finish. But no, this basically is just like a matte powder that has chunks of micro glitter in it. Like, it doesn't make your skin look luminous. It makes it look like you put on glittery eyeshadow and then have fallout all over your face. So that is the one thing, like, I don't understand why they chose to do that, and it is the largest pan in this palette, which is pretty disappointing. I would have personally liked to see them make this pan the same size as the blush and the contour, and then just add, like, maybe a luminous blush shade instead would have been nice, and then they maybe could have made the brightener shade equally as large as the two highlights, because I feel like this is a shade, especially if you have fair skin, you're probably going to get quite a bit of use out of, because it definitely is a little bit lighter and brighter than the two other highlights. So, like, I like this palette, and I have been using it quite a bit, and I think I'm going to continue to use it. I think it would be nice to travel with as well. I like that it's very sleek, compact. The packaging is plastic, but it doesn't feel like a cheap plastic. It has a slight, like, matte, almost soft touch, but not quite finish, and it doesn't show fingerprints. It should be easy to clean. So, like, I like this, but it's $45. I think it's overpriced, and I think if you were gonna spend the money on a face palette, I would recommend the Too Faced Natural Face Palette over this guy, especially if you have a lighter complexion. Unfortunately, the Too Faced palette it only comes in one shade variety, and I don't think it's super flattering on darker skin tones. So the one thing Cover FX did right was make two versions of this palette. This is the light medium one. There is one for medium to deep skin tones, so maybe that one would work better. I assume, though, the finishing powder has the same deal and it's equally shimmery in both palettes. But yeah, this is not the kind of thing I would necessarily recommend buying. Like, I personally probably would have never bought this for $45. I'm glad I got it in a BoxyCharm box. I'm gonna use it now that I have it, but it's just not my favorite face palette, especially for the money. This guy, though, I absolutely love, and it's so hard to say whether or not I would buy it because it is $40. And, like, just the idea of repurchasing a $40 brow product physically pains me inside, but I have to hand it to this. My eyebrows have looked so good every time I've used this. I've just been totally and completely in love with it. So this is the iconic London Sculpt and Boost Eyebrow Cushion. And essentially, like, if you've ever seen a cushion foundation, it kind of looks like that. It's got a little compact with a little sponge compartment here. It has two shades, one that's a little bit lighter, one that's a little bit darker. This is the medium version, but honestly, it is perfect for my eyebrow color. I was a little worried when they sent this shade that it was going to be too light or too warm for me, but it actually ended up being, like, spot on. Now, I haven't really used this little doohickey in here. I just use a double-ended brow brush that I have in my collection because I feel like the one that's in here is a little bit too large for the size of my eyebrows. It's a little bit too chunky. I think if you had fuller brows, it would probably be fine, but I don't really mind it because I'm very, very rarely going to be using this on the go. I'm going to be sitting down at my vanity to do my brows at the beginning of the day, so, like, that doesn't bother me too much. But the actual product itself, the actual liquid that's in this cushion, is freaking incredible. So I think it was last month that I talked about the new Maybelline Tattoo Brow Pomade, and that my biggest complaint with that is that as you spread the product through your brows, it would leave, like, bald patches. It didn't spread the pigment evenly. It kind of, like, just picked it up and moved it around, and I found it very difficult to make my eyebrows look nice and filled in and even. That is the exact opposite of what happens with this liquid. I feel like you go in and you can move and spread it through the brows. Like, a little bit goes a long way, but it spreads really beautifully and evenly. It adds pigment everywhere nice and evenly. It doesn't create any weird bald patches. It layers on top of itself really nicely, and you can get, like, a very sharp, precise, kind of, like, clean edge to your brows that still doesn't look too harsh and Instagrammy. Like, one of the issues I have with pomades in general is because the texture of the product is waxy and very thick. Sometimes it can just look that way on the brows, but because this is a liquid, it doesn't, I feel like, look quite as heavy, and the colors, they just, again, work perfectly. I pretty much use the lighter shade through my entire brow, and then I just darken up certain areas a little bit. So if I naturally don't really have hairs in an area and they naturally look a little bit lighter as a result than other areas of my brows, I can go in with a darker color in those little spots and kind of fill them in a little bit more, darken them up so that it looks uniform with the rest of my brow. And I just absolutely love the effect that it gives. I feel like my eyebrows look just like hella perfected, better than they usually ever look, and it lasts. It doesn't fade, it doesn't like smudge and move around on me. My brows will stay like this for 15 hours, and it's kind of fantastic. Now, you only need to use like a teeny tiny little bit of product to go through your entire brow, so I feel like this will probably last a really long time, which is good because it's so stupid expensive. Like, there's no part of me that wants to spend $40 repurchasing this, but I am a little bit afraid because it's a cushion and because it's a liquid product that it's gonna dry out in like 6 months, regardless of whether or not I've used it up. So that obviously is something time will tell. I don't know yet because this is basically brand new to my collection, but I am worried about that. So I am very happy to have this. I really, really like it, and I'm so glad I got it in a BoxyCharm because there's absolutely no way I would have like just gone out on a limb and randomly purchased a $40 brow product, not knowing if I would actually enjoy it. And we'll have to see the day that this finally kicks the bucket whether or not I'll repurchase it, because so far, this might be my favorite eyebrow product like I've ever put in my brows. And that's saying something. So while we're on the topic of things that are stupidly expensive that I love, that I wish I didn't love, let's chat about some skincare. So I got sent at the beginning of the month 3 new products from Peter Thomas Roth. They just launched this new Peptide 21 collection. So I have the moisturizer, I have the Wrinkle Resist Serum, and then I also have the amino acid exfoliating peel pads. And this collection is hella expensive. Like, Peter Thomas Roth is already a more high-end skincare brand, but these are quite possibly some of the most expensive products that the brand has launched. So like this serum, for example, which is the most expensive thing in the line, is I think $111 or $112. Yeah, that's kind of insane. But I wanted to be open-minded. I wanted to see whether or not I actually notice any results. I'm usually extra skeptical with luxury skincare because I doubt whether or not it's actually worth that much money, or if you're paying more for packaging and for the brand, the name, the label, etc. But I figured, you know what, let's just see. The proof is in the pudding. So I basically stopped using all of my other skincare, my other serums and moisturizers, and I just exclusively used these guys and the peel pads for pretty much almost the entire month, morning and night. And I have to say, like, as much as it pains me because I really don't like recommending things that are so exorbitantly expensive, but these are really freaking good. Like, the very, very first day that I actually tried all of this out, my skin looked incredible. It was super plumped, it was like glowing and radiant, it felt just like really nourished, and I was maybe even a little bit more skeptical because I was like, wow, this is good, but maybe like too good to be true. Like, is this gonna break me out? Is it gonna look really good for a couple days and then I'm gonna end up with crazy bumps and texture? So like, I was almost a little bit more worried because I liked it so much initially. But honestly, I really have like nothing bad to say about this entire collection. My skin seems to be really enjoying it. I haven't noticed any breakouts. I haven't noticed any increase in texture or anything weird. If anything, it's like the exact opposite of that. And I feel like these peel pads do definitely make a difference because the first 2 weeks that I was using this skincare regimen, I was using these every 3 days. It says you can like build them up to use them every day, but you should start out using them like once to twice a week to see how your skin adjusts. There are a bunch of different acids in here as well as peptides that kind of help to exfoliate the top layer of your skin, and it's not too intense. Like, it does tingle a little bit, but unlike other exfoliating pads, you put this on and then you actually rinse the product off, so it's not like continually exfoliating your skin throughout the entire day. So I felt like when I used this and the serum and the moisturizer, my skin was looking fantastic. And then I got sick. And while I was sick, I was still using the serum and the moisturizer, but I honestly was not taking the time to use the peel pads, because basically you put this on, then you sit for 3 minutes after you apply it, and then you rinse it off, and I just felt like death, so I didn't care. I was trying to force myself to at least maintain some semblance of my skincare routine so that my skin didn't go like totally crazy. And while I feel like my skin did still look good while I was using these, I feel like it did look even better when I was also using the peel pads. So I can't deny it. I really do feel like this actually does something positive for your skin. So yes, it's stupidly expensive. You have to be wanting to splurge on luxury skincare if you're gonna pick these up. But if you were wondering whether or not they actually did anything, I do think that they do. And I think that a lot of the reason why these are more expensive is because of the ingredients that are in here. There are 21 different kinds of peptides. There is, I think, hyaluronic acid, squalene. Like, there's a lot of really good skincare ingredients that are in here, and I'm pretty sure they don't have any added fragrance. I know these peel pads here say they're alcohol-free, they're fragrance-free, they're pH balanced, it has chamomile green tea, vitamins A and E, as well as a 20% exfoliating complex. So I think you're getting a lot of really good skincare technology and kind of like a more cutting edge formula, which is why I think it's more expensive than their usual stuff. Also, these bottles are glass. They are a frosted glass, so no light is getting into these bottles, which helps with the potency. So this just says to me, like, no fuss. You want really good anti-aging skincare, that's what we're gonna give to you. Like, it feels heavy, it feels luxurious, but it doesn't feel like they're just trying to sell you something that's pretty and flowery smelling. Like, they're trying to sell you something that actually is going to do something good for your skin. And then another skincare product that I also have been incorporating into my routine in the last month is this cleanser from Tula. I got this in my FabFitFun box for the spring. This is their Purifying face cleanser, and this is the first product from the brand I've ever tried. They are supposed to be a probiotic skincare line. So basically your skin has natural good bacteria on it, and their whole skincare line is developed to help promote the growth of the good bacteria that's going to help to fight the bacteria that like causes acne, etc. So I was very curious about this brand. Like, I'd seen it around on the internet and never tried it. So when I had the opportunity to like pick it for my FabFitFun box, I was all about that. And so far, so good. I've been really enjoying this. This is a sulfate-free cleanser, so it's not too harsh on the skin. I feel like it does have a little bit of a lather, but it's not like super foamy and bubbly, so it doesn't ever really feel like it's stripping my skin. I feel like after I rinse it off, my skin's clean, but it's fairly balanced. Honestly, the only thing I don't like, and this is so weird, but when you're washing your face, do you know sometimes like the water gets on your mouth and you can almost taste the cleanser a little bit? This tastes horrible, like so bad, and more so than any other cleanser I've used in a while. Like, most of the time when I rinse my cleanser off, I don't taste anything at all, but for some reason, every time I wash my face and I rinse this cleanser away, I feel like some residual must be getting around my mouth or something like that, and it tastes pretty darn nasty. But as far as my skin goes, it seems to be liking this a lot. It's been working really well with the Peter Thomas Roth skincare. I've kind of been alternating back and forth between this and the Pixi Rose Cleanser or Rose Cream Cleanser. I forget exactly what the name of that one is, but that one's also really, really nice and very balancing, kind of hydrating for the skin. So I haven't used this, honestly, as much for makeup removal because I've been primarily using either oil-based cleansers or my makeup eraser to wash my face at night. But for a gentle morning cleanse, this has been really good. I've been really liking it. So definitely, if you were curious about this, it's pretty good stuff, and I would love to know what else you guys recommend from this brand because I would like to try out more at some point in the future. Okay, so final skincare product before we move on to some other random stuff, and this was kind of a dud for me. We also got this in FabFitFun. It is the Dr. Brandt Needles No More Baggage Eye Depuffing Gel. And every time I've used this, I feel like it is done nothing but maybe possibly screw up my makeup. So this is a very, very thick cream. Like, you have to like really squeeze hard to get any product out of this tube, which is an annoying thing to begin with. And then if you do get it, it's like orange, and it kind of blends away to being translucent, but I don't know, it dries down to a matte finish, and I guess you could say it kind of may fill in lines under your eyes a little bit and kind of firm up that area, but I honestly never really noticed a significant difference whenever I used this. And I feel like if anything, it was more likely to disturb my concealer and make it wear less well throughout the day. So this is something like I could definitely live without. I'm not really inclined to want to use it anymore now that I've tried it out a few times. Maybe someone else in my life would like to give it a go, so odds are I'm probably just gonna declutter this. But yeah, I just really felt like it didn't do anything spectacular, and considering how expensive this is, like all Dr. Brandt products are pretty pricey. I've liked some of them, but not this one. This is not one of them. So this was a dud. I'm glad, again, I got it in a subscription box because I did not have to waste my money, like, buying it full price. All right, and then I have just a few other random little beauty bits and bobs to show you. So I got sent this guide PR recently. It is from a brand called Conture. It's their new Kinetic Smooth, I think, face razor and polisher. It basically is a 2-in-1 product. It's a pocket-sized little electric razor, and it also has an additional attachment that's like a skin polisher. So if you want to give yourself a little at-home microderm abrasion treatment, you can pop this on instead of the razor head. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't actually had the chance to use this guy yet, the polisher side, because I've been sick and I haven't really been super into like ultra pampering skincare. But I have used the razor side of this a couple of times, and I do think it's pretty cool. Now, I am one of those people that does have quite a bit of natural peach fuzz on my cheeks and on my upper lip. My hair is also really dark, so it tends to stand out more. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really super self-conscious about it. I don't really care. Facial hair, it happens. I don't think it's a thing that we should be super ashamed of. But I will say that I've noticed my foundation and or my contour and bronzer sometimes doesn't really lay very well in this area because of the hairs that are there, and especially if they're a little bit more prominent, it just kind of makes things go on a little bit patchier. So I've been kind of toying with the idea of shaving my face just so that my makeup will go on a little bit more smoothly. And honestly, this just makes it super freaking easy. You just turn it on and you basically just go in little circular motions on your face, and it's painless. You don't feel anything. It doesn't cut you. It just removes all of the peach fuzz and hair from your face, and then you can just like twist off this part and clean it out so you get rid of all the little excess hairs. And it's just handy. I've always been a little bit afraid of the like actual straight little razors you use because I'm the kind of person that's like, somehow I will manage to cut myself. So something that's a little bit more foolproof definitely appeals to me. So I've been really liking this. Now, the only thing is it's expensive. You can get this at Sephora and it's like $40 something, which for a skincare tool / device is like not totally exorbitant, but it's also not super cheap, especially if you could get like a little pack of those face razors for a couple of dollars at the drugstore. But if you wanted something that was a little bit more foolproof, you like the idea of an electric razor, I mean, this one, it works. It's nice. I think it's kind of cool that you get the additional little skincare polishing attachment. Again, I still have to try this out, so I'll keep you guys posted and let you know what I think of this once I use it. But I'm glad that they sent this over to me because, again, I probably would have just let it go and not actually shave my face because I'm lazy. But now that I have this and I've tried it out and I've seen how my makeup wears over my shaven face, it's nice. It definitely makes things go on a little bit smoother and blend out nicer. So I'm enjoying this, and I'm sure I will continue to use it. Then we have this guy, which is a really interesting product. This is from a brand called R+Co. It's their Crown Scalp Scrub, and I picked this up as an add-on to my FabFitFun box. So normally this retails for like, I think $37, and I was able to get it for 14 bucks. And I've been wanting to try a scalp scrub for quite a while now. I've had my eye on the Briogeo one for months and months and months, but it's $40 or 40 something dollars, and that's just a little bit more money than I want to spend on a single hair care product. So when I saw this as an option, I jumped right on it, and I will say it is really cool. So this is a sugar-based scrub. It's sulfate free, so it doesn't have any really harsh cleansing agents in it. I think I had a sample from Sephora once of a different scalp scrub that did have sulfates, and it dried the heck out of my hair. It was also a salt-based scrub, so it was like doubly drying, and I didn't like it at all. This, however, seems to be a little bit more gentle. The only thing I think is a little bit challenging about this kind of product is actually being able to get the granules like to your scalp. I'm still kind of working on my technique because I feel like you go to put this in your wet hair and it mostly just ends up getting stuck in the hair itself and not all the way getting to the scalp. So if you guys have any tips on scalp scrubs and how you use them, let me know, because I'm all ears. But regardless, I do feel like when I use this, my hair is really shiny, it's bouncy, I've seen less flakiness and dandruff, because this winter my scalp has been kind of crazy. I think I've just been using too much dry shampoo, so it's really been drying my scalp out in between washes. So this just kind of helps to remove all that excess buildup and powder and whatnot out of my hair and off of my scalp, and I've been enjoying it. Would I buy it though at full price? That is the question, and I don't know. I do really like that this is in a squeezy tube, whereas like the Briogeo is just in a tub, and I feel like that has got to be so much more messy and annoying to use. Like, you'd be much more likely to get water in the tub when you're in the shower. Like, I don't prefer that style of packaging, but considering that they're similar price points, if I was gonna repurchase a luxury scalp scrub, I'd be curious to try the Briogeo one. So I don't know if I would go out and buy this again right away, knowing that I still want to try the Briogeo. Apparently this has just been a super bougie month for me today, because this last product is also like stupidly expensive. So this is the Commodity Gold Eau de Parfum. This is just a little 10 ml travel spray, because homegirl cannot afford the full-size bottle. It's like $130, which is, you know, nuts. But this perfume smells so good. I am addicted. So I happened to just like be in Sephora one day, maybe a couple months ago. I think I got this in the same order that I actually bought the Pat McGrath lip glosses. So I got this back in February. So I was standing in the store, just like randomly smelling perfumes. I don't know why. I had never really checked out Commodity before, so I was curious. And I smelled this, and it was like love at first whiff. So this is a very warm, cozy fragrance. It has a strong like vanilla amber undertone to it, but it is also super sexy, sophisticated at the same time. It just smells so freaking yummy. And I feel like the lasting power on this is better than any other perfume I've used in a very long time. Like, I still really love my Nest Cocoa Woods perfume, but that one I feel like is not quite as long wearing. After a few hours, I can't smell it on myself anymore, and I feel like it just kind of dissipates. This, I feel like I spray on myself, and the next day when I get up to get in the shower, I still smell it on myself. Like, it lasts on your clothes, it lasts on your skin. It's potent. So like, if you're sensitive to, fragrances, you probably wouldn't want to wear perfume anyway, but like, this is the kind of scent where you spray it on, it's like boom, in your face perfume, but at the same time then it's not gonna fade. So like, I feel like even though this is a luxury, very expensive fragrance, the reason it's so expensive is because the quality of the actual perfume is that like extra step up. So like, maybe one day I'll invest in the full size, or maybe like that would be something I'd ask for as like a birthday or a Christmas present, like my one gift from someone, because that's a lot of money to spend on perfume. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna love on this little travel spray, because again, you don't need to like use too many spritzes because it is so potent. You really need like 2 and you're good. You'll be able to smell yourself for hours and hours with this lovely, delicious vanilla-y goodness. And they do, of course, have many, many other fragrances. Honestly, I did not like any of them as much as this. A lot of them were more woodsy, herbal, earthy, spicy. Like, some of them are more unisex, which is not normally my speed. I'm very girly with my fragrances. But if you're someone that likes gourmand scents, you need to go to Sephora and smell this, because it is absolute heaven. All right, guys, so that is it for this month's beauty report. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed hearing about all these products that I've been testing and trying out. And again, make sure you stay tuned for my makeup playtime update that will be coming your way probably sometime next week if you want to find out what my thoughts are on all of those makeup products as well. And as always, I would love to know what your thoughts are on these products if you've tried them, or if there's something that you tried this month you're super excited about, and let me know in the comments down below. I love chatting about all things beauty with you guys. So yeah, I think that's about it. I hope you guys have an amazing start to your April and a wonderful start to your springtime, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.